Alright, so I have a pretty good space to talk about the lens you guys have been waiting to hear about. So first of all, I want to show you quickly what I'm using to record this video. So you can see this is my Canon T6i, as you can see, T6i, and this right here is. So yeah, this is my setup right here. Basically, I am using. I'll talk about this lens in another video, but basically, this is what you're looking at, you know? Yeah, so I love this setup actually. It's really cool. It's better, right? So this is the lens right here. As you can see, it's a Sigma lens. It has a pretty big glass on it. This lens right here is actually very good. It has great quality. It's very sharp. There's a lock button here. If I do this, then this opens up and it, it zooms in. This lens right here is like 100 times better than the kit lens that Canon comes with, you know. So this lens, by the way, is amazing. It has, this one starts with 17 millimeter. You see? 17 millimeter to 50 millimeter. Again, you could easily lock it so you don't mess around with the zoom, you know. So like if I lock this right here, I can't zoom in and out anymore. This has a noise. Can you hear it? That's because of the optical stabilization that this has. The piece for the stabilization, I guess it moves around, but from what I understand, there's no issues with this. You could, you know, if it makes this noise, it's totally normal. I want to zoom in. I'm zooming in right now. This is at 50, and I want to not lose light. Okay, I want to still contain the same amount of light that was there when I was at 17. So this has a 2.8 constant aperture. Okay, that's why I love this lens so much. I bought this really good price, and I really love this lens a lot because of the aperture. Okay, right now I'm zoomed in at 50. It's at 2.8. I zoom back out to 17, which is pretty wide for a kit lens, and it's still at 2.8. So you never lose any, you know, light. Yeah, this has a great glass. It's a metal mount. It's a great lens for photography and for videography. It's a bit heavy for videography, but you know, you just have to have some muscles, you know. Because this lens is great for nighttime, I'm gonna give you guys a quick tour with how the quality looks. I'm gonna have my settings of my camera on program, so the camera knows how to adjust things a little bit better than what I would be able to do. Alright, so now this is the lens. This is the quality of the lens, as you can see. By the way, I am using lighting. It's also on program mode, so right now my camera is doing all the adjustments and all of it, you know. The shutter speed and ISO right now, it's all on auto. I could definitely do manual really fast for you guys. So now my camera is on manual. I have my shutter speed at 1/30th. On my camera, I have a Canon T6i here. It says 30. Aperture is at 2.8 and my ISO is at 400. So right now, this is what you get, you know. This is a pretty good quality. You know, it's a nighttime right now. There's, you know, barely any light in the house. I could even turn off the light really fast. There's really no light other than what's coming from my LCD, which I bought from Amazon. And my suggestion for you guys is, if you really want to make videos in low light conditions, having a light on your camera like this right here is fantastic. And I can show you quickly what it looks like. I'm gonna use my digital camera to show this setting right now. So as you can see, this right here is the LCD that the light is coming through, and that's the lens right there, and then that's the amount of light being it's basically at the highest level. So this is what it looks like. That was basically, as you saw, that was the light coming from this LCD lighting. This is pretty good, right? I mean, the quality is phenomenal, you know. I think honestly, from my experience, it doesn't really matter what lens you have. the only reason why I suggest buying this lens, I made a video called Amazing Pictures of Animals. Yeah, that was shot with this lens. And that night, I didn't use any lighting. I was really depending on outside light, and it came out pretty well. I mean, that's another thing about this lens is because it has 2.8, it does really well in low light. So that's the benefit with this lens is you could do that too, you know, if there is some light outside anyway. When I bought this lens, I realized my camera was not compatible with the firmware of the lens. This lens has a firmware. You have to send it to Sigma, especially if you're going to be using it on like a new, you know, a new Canon that came out. Like T6i just came out a year ago, and this lens probably was made a couple years back, maybe 3 years ago. And so the firmware needs to be updated. And so I sent this lens in a safe packaging from UPS. I sent it off to the corporation in New York, and they updated the firmware, they sent it back to me, and now I'm able to use it. So when you buy this lens, don't be freaking out why it doesn't work. It does work, you just have to update the firmware. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and share some comments below if you have this lens. Well, how do you use it? Maybe share with me some of your video links that you've used this lens. It will be very good. And I'll also put in the description below the video I made, which is called, again, Amazing Pictures of Animals with this lens, for you guys to check out.